Hello there, this is Jen. How are you doing? This is a clip from Lobotomy World Extra, which, if you don't know, is a whole extra hour of podcast that is exclusively for members and Patreon. So if you'd like access to the full hour of this, you can get it by joining as a YouTube member or going to patreon.com/lobotomyworld. It's a kind of a different vibe, but we could talk about anything or whatever. But I don't know, you might like it. It might be for you. So if you'd like to join, you should do that. If not, then you can just only have the clips like this, which is also fine. Okay, thanks so much. Bye. Oh yeah, I finished that book, All Fours by Miranda July. I finished it. I said I would finish it. I was a little bit late. I was hoping to have it finished by, the end of last month. Well, I was close. I finished it today and I really liked it. And listen, I don't think the book club idea really caught on. That's okay. It's a big ask. It's a big undertaking. It's a big commitment to say to people that you don't know, essentially. I'm talking about you, most likely. It's a big ask to say to them, hey, let's start a book club. You read the book that I'm reading and then tell me if you liked it. Obviously, if you did read it, please do tell me if you liked it and what you did or didn't like about it. Maybe book clubs have to grow organically these days. I don't know how it works. But I read it and I really loved it. I thought it was really interesting. I thought it was really funny. I thought it was very refreshing. A lot of I guess one cool thing about the book is the way that it tries to kind of normalize the language and normalize the kind of culture of queerness, I guess. It tries to modernize and kind of make passé things that a few years ago would have probably been regarded as this is a bit woke. But the central story of it is just fascinating as well. And again, I'm not doing a big old book review, but I just really love her style, Miranda July. There are so many just standalone sentences in it where you just go, that's I can't remember any of them, but you go, that is a killer sentence. And I don't mean that in a kind of, not to say that the rest of the book isn't brilliant, but that there are just some sentences where she just manages to pinpoint and, for lack of a better term, verbalize a feeling, an idea that you have always thought yourself or known about but never had the language to communicate. A bit when you find out what the word schadenfreude means for the first time. You go, schadenfreude? It's they're trying to unveil a new word on us. Why do we need a new word? Surely we've got a word to describe whatever the hell schadenfreude means. And then you learn what schadenfreude means, which is the German word for feeling joy in another person's bad fortune, misfortune. And you go, hold on, we actually don't have a word that adequately describes that feeling. We need one. And they go, oh no, wait, we've got one now, schadenfreude, that's great. Gaslighting was another one. Gaslighting was a really big one, I think. Can you remember a pre-gaslighting world? I can remember when we were all just walking around going, I think this person's telling me lies and making me doubt myself, but I don't really have an adequate word to describe it. So so for that reason, I'm not really going to mention it ever, or I don't really feel comfortable talking about it because I feel like this is just something that may just only be happening to me. And then someone was like, that's gaslighting. And you're like, gaslighting? And they're like, yeah, that's what that is. And you go, there's a word for it. That's cool. That's why words are quite cool. That's why it's cool to have new words. And that's my big takeaway from today's episode. It's cool to have new words. Let's think up a word now. Like they say, don't they, that like Shakespeare invented like a bazillion words. You know, every English teacher wants to tell you like, oh, did you know that that word that you just said, fortnight, that was actually invented by William Shakespeare. The first use of the word Roblox was William Shakespeare in his famous play Roblox. So let's make up a new word. What about oh, it's hard, isn't it? It's harder than it seems. What about a word for when you're trying to make up a new word, but you can't make up a new word because you don't have the right imagination for it? That word could be dweeb. That's a dweeb. There we go. This is not hard. God, Shakespeare gets so much credit and just a hack, really, wasn't he? Or she. Some people think that Shakespeare might have been a lady or a child.